Hello Cruising World, Mick the Suit Guy with you. Today is my first review of our cruises for the year. I dressed appropriately. A little backstory on this suit, if I may. So I have a really cool disco suit, and I went to put it on New Year's Eve, and I'll show you a picture of it right here. I noticed there was a bit of a smudge on the legs. I don't know how it happened there. It's not what you're thinking. It's too far down. It's just a regular smudge on the legs. Keep your mind out the gutter, everybody. So I emailed Oppo Suits, one of my favorite companies to use, and I explained what had happened because they only resold the whole suit. I said, is there any way I can just get a pair of pants, trousers as we say in England, to replace and just pay for those because I don't need a new jacket? And I explained I had a YouTube channel and I do these videos and all that stuff, and they came back, God bless them. They said, we love your video. We are going to send you a whole brand new suit, and we're going to send you a surprise suit to go with it as a new line that's coming out. So here I am in the new suit they sent me for free. Yeah. I was trying to work out what it was going to be, and I was looking, and they brought out a new Sesame Street suit, and I was like, oh, Sesame Street, that would be awesome. And I'm still going to get that eventually, but they ain't got my size yet. So Sesame Street will be coming, but this. And I found some awesome new shoes to go with it. Green velvet. Any Ipswich fans watching, worried about the green and yellow? It's just green. It's just green. I'm sure I'll hear it. Anyway, so I put out a video a few days ago, detailing our list of cruises for the year. So today I'm going to talk about the first one we did, give you my honest review and appraisal, what we did, what we didn't do, what I liked, what I didn't like, which is quite a bit. And I never do negative. I think I had a whole bad experience of the Greenland cruise last year, and anything that could go wrong for me last year went wrong, and it seems like it's carried over into 2024 to start with. Not the people on the cruise, because there was about 32 of us went. I took a bunch of clients with me, and we had a good time. They were wonderful people. It was other things I didn't like so much. So anyway, let's get into it, and I'm going to walk you through and summarize some of the highlights and lowlights. I'll cover the lowlights at the end. I want to keep positive, and then I don't want to be too negative. So let's start positive. I'll tell you about the cruise, and then I'll give you my overall experience afterwards. So let's look at this, shall we? So it's the first cruise of all the ones we've got, January the 14th, Carnival Celebration. It was a 7-day cruise. We were going from Miami. We had a sea day, Amber Cove, San Juan, St. Thomas, couple of sea days, and then back to Miami. So we stayed at a hotel called the Hotel Aria out in Coconut Grove. I thought it was a wonderful hotel. I'm going to put a whole video up in a couple of weeks on the whole area. There was loads of great restaurants. It was only about a 10-15 minute drive from the port with reasonable traffic. Now here's the thing. When we booked this hotel, we paid $170 a night, which was very reasonable. I've been looking at it recently as a lot more expensive than that. So proceed with caution and check the price before you book. Because I looked at one coming up in a year and it was suddenly $450 a night. So I don't know if it's one of those hotels you're going to catch a good time or not, but always look early when you're going out of Miami because the prices can go up ridiculously high, especially the closer to the cruise you book, the date you want. But we got this place for $170 a night and it was great. Loads of really good restaurants around and about. The next day we parked in a place called We Park in Miami. We tried Premier Cruise Parking and I wasn't a big fan of that one at all. So we tried this one out and I'm going to be putting a separate video up on that. I thought it was a lot better than Premier Cruise Parking and a closer. But watch that video. It'll be coming out in a couple of weeks and you might get a better idea of that. So we got on the cruise and on the opening day everybody met. I did a little tour of the ship and everything, and on day one, the first sea day, we did my usual pub crawl. There's the group of us there waiting to do our pub crawl. I got my little inflatable ship we're going to get signed, so we went around and got that signed by as many people as we could. I'll add a negative one in here. I do these pub crawls on every cruise. I've been doing them for a long time. If you look above me right now, you're going to see all my inflatable ships that I have. I have another one on the floor down there. Why did we start doing them? It was like a little tradition thing we did. I really enjoy it. And I noticed after a while, it was kind of a break from the norm for a lot of the crew. What would you want to drink? What do you want to drink? What do you want to drink? What do you want to drink? It gets monotonous. Can you sign my ship? Oh, something else other than do you want to, make you a drink? And they would pick it up. They would look over who signed it. They would sign it themselves, take care to sign it in nice wording and everything like that. This one, it was kind of my first notification, as it were, that the crew morale may not be the highest I've ever seen on a ship. 5 people actually said they didn't have time to sign the ship. I've never had anybody do that before, let alone 5. 4 or 5 people grabbed it, quickly signed it, and then moved on. Didn't read over it, didn't bother to sign their name and where they're from, as I asked them to do. And again, I'm not expecting them to think this is something special. It's very telling because it's a break from the norm for them. It's something different that takes them out of the routine that they normally, if they're a happy crew, they're smiling. It's, again, something different. I'm not saying I'm anything special or they should do it just because it's signing a ship. Don't get me wrong. But normally the reaction is a lot better. I've never seen it like this. And as we were doing the crawl, twice on the crawl, I noticed there were 2 bar managers at 2 different bars. One was Serenity, I forget the other one. Just standing there watching people work and making notes. I don't know. But all I'm going to say is, if the head of the fish stinks, it only carries down. And if you don't enjoy working for your boss and you're on a cruise ship for 8 months, 9 months with no family and friends, doing the same thing over and over again, going to the same ports over and over again, and your boss is not nice, maybe I'm jumping to conclusions, but that was definitely the impression I got, because for the rest of the week, bartenders, normally at the end of the week, I have like 10 of them I want to tip. Not the case this week. I don't know why. But, it is what it is. Anyways, and it wasn't just the bartenders. It was the whole crew just didn't seem to be in as friendly as I'm used to. I talked to one crew member on there. I'm getting ahead of myself like I always do. I'm not going to say who it was, but I was talking to them, and they said this ship is ranked number 3 in the fleet for crew grades when you do your reviews. He goes, you watch, in a few weeks it's going to be number 20, because I'm going to leave it there. Anyway, so the first port day we had was Amber Cove. I went to a company I love to use called Iguana Mama Cruise Tours. Cruise Tours. They're a private tour company. The only negative thing is you have to go out of the port and take a left, so it's about a 15 to 20 minute walk to get to where they go from, because Carnival is their own port. They don't want outside companies coming inside. It was also noticeable after the trip. Normally they can come into the port and drop us off. They could not do that on this one either, so they weren't allowed either before or after. So if you have anybody that needs to, have help walking and stuff, there are taxis in the port that they can jump on and take you out there. They won't mind. It's like $4 or $5, but it's very close. But at the same time, it's very far if you need extra time walking. So anyway, so we got this private tour. We went up the cable car, which is what you can see here. And there's another look from the cable car itself. It's a very steep view up to the top. And when you got to the top, we got off, walked around for a bit, got some really nice pictures of the views and all that good stuff. And then when we came down, we went on to our next stop. We went down to 4 or 5 different places. I'm just going to show you a couple of quick highlights on here. We went to a chocolate factory where I had everybody smile. I got my Piton t-shirt on, whoo-hoo, and drinking Presidente, whoo-hoo-hoo, even better. So we had some Presidentes on the boat, on the bus and everything. Our tour guide was awesome. Iguana Mama, remember the name. You don't have to have a private rental. You can go on their website. They do the waterfall tours. They do all the tours, and they will get you back to the ship on time. But one of my favorite parts of the entire day, I'm about to show you, we had a little sing-song on the bus. Let's just show you that right now.
Every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they say yeah, and they say yeah, and they say yeah. Up, down, up, down. 'Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in, put your hands in the air, make them say yeah. Woo!
So yeah, that was kind of fun, huh? So yeah, we did that. Over the week, we went to a few different restaurants. We did We did a couple of cooking classes in Carnival Kitchen. They were a lot of fun. I'm going to put a whole separate video up on them. I did 2 when I was on the Mardi Gras in December, and then we did 2 more in here. So we've done 4 of the 5 cooking classes. The dinner ones are a little bit different in that they serve you food afterwards. Actually, the Emeralds one, they did not, which I was quite surprised about. But the ones you do in the evening, we did the Emeralds one at lunchtime. But you do all the cooking. It's $65 a person plus gratuity, so it's not the cheapest thing, but it's a lot of fun. And afterwards, they'll bring out so much food, you're never going to eat it. The reason I was surprised at the Emeralds was most of the daytime ones where you don't, they're $45. The Emeralds one was still $65. But we didn't get any extra food afterwards. We only ate what we cooked, which was fine because it was pretty simple recipes to cook, really tasty. And I'm glad we did it, but I was a little bit surprised they didn't bring any extra food out. So watch out for a separate video on the Carnival Kitchen dinners. They'll be coming out in a few weeks. Every Saturday I bring one of these video types out, so it'll be coming up soon. The following day, we went to San Juan. We've been to San Juan a ton of times. We normally do a food walking tour there. It's a great city for walking around. If you come out and hang a left and just keep walking, you'll go around the back of the fort, come back around back to the ship. From walking around the entire island, you can actually walk through the fort to the back. You'll see a load of iguanas on the way, as you can see here. Iguana. There's the fort. It's a very impressive fort. It's enormous to walk around. As you'll see as many turrets as you will iguanas. A lot. Oh, look, there's another iguana. Iguanas everywhere. There we are, our good friend Jerry, looking up from the back of the fort. No, so it's a good place to explore and walk around, as they say. So we had a good time walking around San Juan for the day, went back on the ship. I think that night we went to we went to Rudy's Sea Grill for dinner, which is a nice seafood restaurant. I get the halibut. I got to branch out and try something different, but I love halibut. So, yeah, we did that. And then the next day, our last port was St. Thomas. And we used our friends at Project Expedition. We got a private bus to take us around. There was 22 of us on the bus. We wanted to go snorkeling with a little bit of sightseeing. There's not really a huge amount of sightseeing in St. Thomas. I mean, I put videos out on things to do. We did a food tour. We love doing food tours. That video's already come out. So have a look around and you see some of those. But this tour, a lot of people just wanted to have kind of a lazy beach day. So we rented the bus, took us to Sapphire Beach, took us to Coki Beach, and then we did a bit of driving around, a couple of sightseeing stops, took some pictures, and then back to the ship, which was fine. Was I in love with this tour? No, because I wasn't really happy with the tour guide. I felt he was very rude, kind of summed up the week on the ship. I tried to get in touch with him with questions, and all his responses were one word: see you tomorrow, see you soon. And if I pushed him, I'd eventually get half an answer out of him. On the day, they were supposed to be there at 9, and we got there about 20 to 9, expecting him to be at least there waiting for us so we could maybe get an early start, because we had to leave port fairly early. Nobody was there, so I walked to see if it was around the corner. And as I walked around the corner, I saw him coming in on his bus. And I got a very rude response of, it's not 9 o'clock yet, go back over there, I'll be there in a minute. All right. So I am not going to recommend this tour. Plus, when we got on the tour, he said, well, let's go to Sapphire Beach first, and then we'll go to Coki Beach. I've never been to either. I'm not really a beach person. It was more for everybody else in the group. And I explained we wanted to eat, we wanted to have a good time. And then one of our group suggested not going to Coki Beach, because he said go to Sapphire Beach first, then Coki Beach. One of our group did not think Coki Beach was the best beach. They found another one. The tour guide did all they could to talk us out of it. I mean, put me in a bit of a spot, because I kind of upset my client a little bit because they wanted to go to this place. But the tour guide said there was no snorkeling at this place, and, blah, blah, blah. When we got to Coki Beach, it turned out he had somebody there waiting to show us and get us seats on the beach and stuff. So it was clearly a setup. It was going to get a kickback. And it felt like the kickback tour all the way around. Every stop we made on the sightseeing tour was a kickback place where people were waiting for us. They knew we were coming. It just felt a bit fake. Plus, if you're ever going to do that, Sapphire Beach is way nicer than Coki Beach for not being overcrowded. They had some really cool cabanas that were very reasonable rates. When we got to Koki Beach, it was super crowded. We didn't get there till early afternoon, so by that time most people were there. There was hardly anywhere to sit and have drinks. It just was not a patch on the fun of Sapphire Beach, in my opinion. Maybe the snorkeling was better. I didn't go out in the water. We should have gone to Koki Beach first, got that one out the way, then gone to Sapphire Beach. Another thing is that Sapphire Beach, the restaurants didn't open till 11, and we were leaving like at 11:30, because again, it was a short, early port day. So I was a bit disappointed, well, very disappointed in the tour guide. Some of our crew on Koki Beach did not want to get back on the bus with him, so they just stayed there and got a taxi back because they were so angry. That would be the group that wanted to go to the other beach. So yeah, I wouldn't really recommend that tour. I'm not even going to post it. Nothing to do with Project Expedition. They have hundreds of tours. You know, they don't know how they work it when they're on the tour sometimes, but I have informed them of what happened, and they are going to take the necessary action to make sure he doesn't do that again. But Sapphire Beach, and I'm going to show you a little snippet of video clips. I took a video clip of Sapphire Beach, a video clip of Koki Beach, just to give you the comparison between the two. So take a quick look at this and you'll see hopefully what I'm talking about. So I'll show you Sapphire Beach first, where we went in the morning, and then I'll show you Koki Beach. And I think you'll see which one's better than the other. Again, maybe the snorkeling was better at Koki Beach. I don't know. But we'll see. You judge for yourselves. Take a look. Okay, so that's that. And then we had 2 more sea days on the way back in. We did a slot pull one day. Here we are all ready to do the slot pull. Actually, not ready. We just finished. I don't know why we're smiling, because we put $25 in each and we won $10 each. So, you know, it was fun. Slot pulls are always a lot of fun. But yeah, so we did that. And then we just kind of hung out for the next couple of days, dealt with more rudeness from the crew. I hate to go on about it, but it really wasn't. I'm just not used to it. I am just not used to it. The cruise director, didn't see him all week. I didn't not see him all week. I only saw him when there was an official function going on. As far as walking around the ship, meeting and greeting, shaking hands, taking pictures, did not see him one time. And that's not the first time I've cruised with this cruise director, and it was the same the last time. Not a fan. That's just me. A lot of people love him. But you know, just personally, I didn't like it. Just the overall feel of the general crew happiness wasn't there. There wasn't a smile. You know, we would go into some of the bars and you'd order drinks that were maybe not the easiest drinks to make, and there was clearly didn't want to make the drinks. Just wasn't an overall happy feel on this ship, and it's very sad because I've never seen that before. And like I said, it wasn't just one crew member. It was almost every single crew member on the ship. So, yeah, I can't say as that was great. You know, what can I do? Anyway, I forgot to show you this one picture going back to St. Thomas. I got out of order on this. Yeah, look what I found. I did at least have that at Koki Beach. That was the one good thing I had at Koki Beach. So we'll throw that one in there. Now, there were obviously some pluses on the cruise. Not everything's a negative. And I will tell you, you know, I spend a lot of time in the comedy club if you watch these videos. And we had some of my favorite comedians. It was a very nice surprise when I got on board to see that we had Jersey in the first week, the first part of the week. And the latter part of the week, we had these wonderful human beings. We had Vince, we had DJ Cooch, and we had BT. Some really, really, really top-class comedians. The comedy club host, Sparkles, was amazingly fun. If not the best, one of the best comedy club hosts I've ever seen. So the comedy club was an absolute plus. Riot on this particular cruise. We had we were hanging out with the comedians a little bit. Just all around, that was really good. It made up for a lot of the negativity elsewhere. There's me with Jersey. He was on the first part of the ship. Jersey's awesome. We were recently on Jersey on the Legend. So yeah, a great time was had in the comedy club. Hung out with Vince a little bit. Had a couple of drinks with him here and there. We took him and DJ Cooch out for sushi. So yeah, got to know them a little bit better. You know, just a really, really fun part of the cruise was the comedy. Really enjoyed that. And then there's my friend Gary and Jerry in the background, if you can see him with all his hair. And Nicholas, who was a really fun bartender up in the Red Frog pub up on deck 17. But again, few and far between. I'm not going to lie. It was, a very weirdly disappointing cruise from my aspect on that. And again, I don't want to dwell on being negative. I'm not saying the crew was a bad crew, just morale was low. And there's very often a reason why morale is low. You know, if your managers, and I saw it all through the week. You know, normally when you sit at the bar, because I do drink a lot on the ships, and I sit at the bar and I watch and I see how the crew interact with each other. And I'm especially watching when the managers come in. Do they smile when they see the manager walk in? You know, when we were on the Radiance, the crew was so tight. When the manager was so tight, everybody was so awesome. You just see it on the Mardi Gras, so tight, so awesome. But when the bar managers came in on this ship, you felt a tenseness come in. It just didn't feel right. Even like our room steward, we didn't barely see him all week and that's not the room steward's fault. There's so many rooms that they have to do now. Morale is just on a decline. I noticed it a little bit on Mardi Gras, but overall that was much better. Night and day to Celebration. But you know, I've gradually noticed over a while that morale is going down slightly within the crew. They're not as smiley and happy as they normally are, especially on these big ships, because the bartenders on the big ships, they have to work so hard, so many hours they have to put in every day, and it's such a big ship. They're doing 25,000 steps a day. You know, the fridge is empty out. They've got to go restock, and it's constant restocking, and it's just really hard work. And you know, if you're working that hard and your managers aren't treating you right, it's going to show. And it definitely showed on the Celebration. And I gave a pretty negative and harsh review when I got the survey in, and I don't do that. I try and be really positive, but you know, when it's that bad, I feel like you need to let people know. So anyways, not a great start to my cruising year, but then last year I had Russia cancelled when the war started. I had Greenland cancelled because we're not going to go there. I had Bermuda cancelled. I had the inaugural on the Jubilee cancelled, both the transatlantic and the first US one. So yeah, my luck continues to not be great. But next up is Virgin, and I'm sure they're not going to let me down, right? We'll be on Virgin February the 11th, and after that I'll do another one of these little videos. But you know, I hope that was an honest appraisal. We had fun in the ports. We had a good group of people with us. Just crew morale just wasn't there. Just was not there. Food, I didn't really touch on it too much. The Carnival kitchen food, we did it ourselves, and it was great. Rudy's was great. We didn't eat in the steakhouse. I don't go in there anymore because the menu hasn't changed in forever. We did teppanyaki. I forgot to mention that. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. I did not go to Chibang this time. I did eat in Pick and Anchor because I wanted to watch the Bucks playoff game against the Eagles where we crushed them. Won't talk about the next game, but we crushed the Eagles. So, and I ate in the main dining room once. That was it. Maybe twice. Can't remember. But food overall, Shaq's was good. No complaints about the food. Everything was fine. It was just crew morale brought the cruise down a level for me. So hopefully it gets better. I feel like I got a weight off my chest. It's like when I did a bit of a rant on the Greenland cruise. I wasn't very happy with that. But it's got to get better, right? Everything's got to get better. Woo! Subscribe if you want to after all that drivel I just rambled on about forever. There'll be more of these coming up. Again, I was going to do like a daily vlog and everything, but that would get a bit much and it would be a lot of work for me, to be honest. So, you know, I'm just going to do these summaries after each cruise this year. And hopefully that was at least somewhat interesting and helpful to a little bit of an extent. But please put in the comments what you feel. Have you noticed anything with the crew morale going down a little bit? You know, subscribe to this little channel. Hit that bell if you want to get notifications. I do a video every Monday with cruising tips. Every Thursday I put out a cabin video. I did get the presidential suite on this one because one of our awesome clients, Angela and Grant, were in there. So I got to go in there and video that. So that'll be coming up, probably already out because I'm going to do that this week, I think. And then, you know, every Thursday I put one out. But with that, because I lost track of what I was talking about. So it probably makes no sense the last few conversational sentences. But then again, whatever does that I talk about. Growing in the beard for the year, let's see where it goes. I will see you later, Cruising World. Any questions? Email me anytime. cruisingsuitguy@gmail.com. I promise I'll reply as soon as possible. Want to book a cruise or any type of travel? We are travel agents. Check out our site, elitetravelconnection.com, or email me, Mick at elitetravelconnection.com. We are here for you. Finally, subscribe, please. Pretty please. You know you want to. Go on. I won't beg you. Okay, I'm begging. Please. Subscribe. Thank you.